Welcome to Larkhall in Scotland for round 4 of the Ginetta Super 1 Rotax Max National Karting Championships. Considered by many to be the most competitive of karting championships and the most difficult to win. 3 rounds are down, 4 to go. Here's race commentator Alan Tadei with a look at the season so far and who's setting the pace.
4 classes in this Rotax series. The first is Rotax 177 for taller, heavier weight drivers. The first round saw last year's vice-champion Dave Griffiths take the first final of the season, but mechanical dramas in the televised final saw Griffiths out of the race and the 2010 champion Lucas Orrock fill his boots with maximum points. And since then, Orrock has won each final at the last 2 rounds to dominate the championship standings. If anyone's going to stop the Orrock Express, they have to start now. In Minimax for drivers from 11 years of age, Jack Mitchell started the season taking final 1 at round 1, with Ben Hingley taking the televised final. Josh White then took a double, winning both finals at Shannington, before Ross Gunn got into the action taking final 1 at round 3, with Harry Webb winning final 2. It's Webb that's on top after the first 3 rounds, but with 4 rounds remaining, any one of the top 6 is still in contention. Junior Rotax for drivers from 13 years of age has seen Strawberry teammates Jack Barlow and Nathan Harrison battling for the top spot, with Barlow taking both finals at round 1, Harrison in second both times, before Harrison took both finals at round 2, Barlow second and third that time. At round 3 it was James Singleton, the new British Open champion, who took a double, with Harrison suffering a major impact crash which saw him off to hospital with whiplash neck pain. He was released soon after and took a week to recover, but he's now back in shape for this round. It's Barlow who tops the standings after round 3, and Harrison needs a good round this time to prevent his teammate developing an unassailable lead in the championship. In senior Rotax for drivers from 16 years of age, the Irishman Charlie Eastwood won the first final of the season, but it's been the Brandwagon Ed Brand who has set the pace since, winning 4 of the 5 finals at rounds 2 and 3. Andy King is the only driver in that time to beat Brand, winning the first final at round 2. Brand leads the series comfortably and is seeking to become the first man ever to win both the junior and senior Rotax titles. By the end of the season, I expect he will have done just that.
One of the drivers you saw in that piece was Lucas Orrock. Lucas is here with me now. Hello.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Now, last season you started off, I think it was fair to say, on fire. You lost it a bit mid-season and ended up having to get it done in the last round. Now you've started off this season pretty much exactly the same, but this time can you hold your form?
I hope so. I mean, last year we, like you say, we really did start off really well. It did drop off in the middle a bit. I had other commitments with university, and I was trying to juggle taking exams with racing, and it was pretty tough. Couple of races in the middle there. But in the end, it all came back together, and this year, I mean, I set out myself a goal at the start of the year, which was, instead of let that happen, to try and maintain the lead all the way through, and really, stamp my authority and try and win as many races as I could. That's always been my goal, is to treat each weekend as each weekend and just try and steadily improve.
Well, actually, speaking of your driving, Alan did mention last time that he could see you in touring cars. Obviously, you've got quite a nice physique on you. You might not always be able to fit in those little karting cars. Where do you see your career going?
Well, I've always treated karting as a sport in its own right, and I very rarely think of where karting will take me. I try and think about what I'm doing at the moment, how lucky I am to do what I'm doing, and yeah, I just always treat karting as its own, as a sport in its own. And if I was to move on to another form of motorsport, it wouldn't be that I use karting as a stepping stone to get there. It would just be that I wanted to try something new, and maybe I felt that my time in karting was over. And like I say, because of my size, it's quite difficult to get in the different karting classes that are very competitive. 177 is now still a competitive class, but yeah, my size sort of limits me to that. And I don't want to speak too soon, but maybe I'll try some cars later on. But for now, I'm going to concentrate on my karting, and I love my karting, and that's what I'm worried about for now.
Excellent, we can see that. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Off and running then at the start. You may have noticed that Lucas Orrock had gridded P4 in this one, finished 4th in the first final. He's already lost the place through turn 1. He's down to 5th place. It's Dave Griffiths that leads it. Kart streamed down to the double apex at the bottom of the circuit. We're on board here with Scott Clee and Dave Griffiths in this one. This is the view from the back of Scott Clee's kart. This is the view from the leader of the race, the 2 kart of Dave Griffiths, the 7 kart in behind Tom Pitlick. 4 kart is Colin Davis in 3rd, the 6 kart of Tom Holland in 4th, and championship leader still there in 5th place. He's lost 1 place since the start. They head down to the final turn, turn 8. On board here with the leader. Looking back on Tom Pitlick, the earlier heat results on your screen now. Lucas Orrick did take the win in Heat 1 from Davis and Griffiths, and Colin Davis with the fastest lap that day. Davis has been quick all weekend. In Heat 2, it was Lucas Orrick from Colin Davis, Tom Holland. Danny Andrew with the fastest lap of 38.87. And the earlier final, from which the grid positions for this race were made up, it was the 2 kart of Dave Griffiths that took the win and 50 points. From Colin Davis and Tom Pitlick, Danny Andrew again with the fastest lap 38.86, and the championship leader was down in 4th place, hence the reason he started this race in 4th. As you can see there, it's just on the back of that little train in 5th place. Through the start finish line then, kart streamed through turn 1, 57 Dave Rendell. 2 kart of Griffiths still has it down to the bottom of the circuit, and still Lucas Orrick can't make any headway, still stuck there in 5th place. Going to have to make a move on Tom Holland if he wants to get after the leader. He's making that move through the right-hander there at turn 4, and has made his way through to 4th place. 2 hairpins bring out into this little straight down to the turn 7. That is turn 7. Little kink on the left. Used to run that kink, but they put a curb in several years ago to stop people doing it. Through start finish line one more time. Lucas Orrick up to 4th place, championship leader. Looking to consolidate his championship lead this weekend, but already finished 4th in the first final, so just a few points to Dave Griffiths. The 27 kart making up a place is Danny Andrew through to 5th place. Danny was the fastest man in Heat 2 and the earlier final one. The 27 kart, there he is. So certainly capable of getting on the podium from there, close enough to the leading group. Got a little 5 or 6 kart lengths to make up on Lucas Orrick in front. There is Danny Andrew, 27 kart, 6 is Tom Holland, 16 Scott Clee. Tom Holland started in 5th place, so he's lost 1. Scott Clee started 9th, he's up 2 into 7th. Still Griffiths that leads it then. Pitlick in 2nd, and Colin Davis 3rd place. Lucas there in 4th. The 57 kart is Dave Rendell. He's pursued by the 23 kart of Carl Churchill. Through the right-hander at turn 4. Davis makes his way through to 2nd place, drops Pitlick back 1, and Lucas Orrick on Pitlick's case now. Can't make his way past through the hairpin. May have a look down at the double apex at the bottom of the circuit if he can say close enough. Paul Joslin, 58, is going no further in the foreground. He's trying to get it going again, but he will be well down the back of the field. Griffiths has pulled 3 or 4 kart lengths here over Colin Davis. Useful lead from Pitlick. Orrick, 27 is Danny Andrew. In 6 Holland, under pressure from Scott Clee. Dave Griffiths here, very interestingly, drives his own chassis. Designed this chassis, built it himself, homologated it. And we will be catching up with Dave at the next round to ask him all about that, how that came about, and who else is on the chassis. Very unusual in this day and age for people to be designing their own chassis and racing them, that's for certain. So we will catch up with Dave at the next round and ask him all about that. It clearly works because he's at the front of the field here, and generally is always at the front of the field in this class. On board here with Clee, who's now made his way past the 27 kart of Danny Andrew. So Scott Clee started 9th, and I think he's up to, I think that's 5th place now. So good drive here from Scott. He was on the podium at the first round, of course, his first season in Super 1. Danny Andrew, the 27 kart, has been quick this weekend. Set a couple of fastest laps, as I said earlier. I might have been expecting, when he got through to 5th place, to turn that into something a bit better, maybe a podium, but it doesn't look like happening for him. Later in the race, Colin Davis, the fastest man on the track, 38.82. Paul Joslin, just saw in the picture there, is obviously out. So he come up to turn 4. Davis is closer to the leader. Orrick looks up the inside and contact with Colin Davis. Oh, and Lucas Orrick, he's got his helmet in his hands. He knows he's made a mistake there in the overtaking. And, well, look at the state of Colin Davis's kart. Disaster for Colin. He's been going so well and may have been looking for the win here himself. He was certainly close enough to Griffiths. He closed him down. He's going again, but That is a nightmare for the 4 karts. Let's have a look at the replay. It was Orrock who looks up the inside. He's just about alongside, but to be fair, well, it'd be interesting one to see how the officials view that. You could argue he's alongside, but you can see he's got his helmet in his hands, and I think that suggests he knows he's made a mistake there. Certainly made a mistake in terms of the championship, and if it leads to an exclusion from the race, that will put him under pressure in the championship. And in fact, if he was excluded from the race and Griffiths wins this, Griffiths, as we're into the last lap, would actually lead the championship. And Dave Griffiths, I can tell you, as he takes the checkered flag, will be leading the championship after this one. It's turned the championship on its head, that one incident. Holland finished second, Brenton third, but both excluded after the race.
Dave, you took third place pretty much right at the end because Colin and Lucas had a bit of an accident.
Yep, I saw the end of that. They sort of went off. I was like quite happy to take the places really. Looked into third really, but I'm happy to take the position. You know, sometimes you get the look, don't you? And we did today.
You snuck into second at the end there. Tough race?
Yeah, it's a pretty hard race for us. We've never been to the track before, so we're struggling a bit with setup. But in the end, we managed to get the setup right, and we was pretty quick.
David, you started first, you ended first. You make it look so easy.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. we tried our hardest. We worked hard with all the kit all weekend and managed to get it sorted out in the end. So, no, it was good. Difficult weekend, though.
Excellent, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great weekend for Dave Griffiths, not so great for Tom Holland, who finished second on the track, excluded for a driving infringement, and Richard Brenton, 68, finished third on the track, excluded for being underweight in 177. What's going on? Eat some more cream buns, Richard. The other man excluded was Lucas Orrock, excluded from the race, and that's the difference it's made to the championship. It's turned it on its head. Griffiths leads.
That was the Rotax 177. Join us after the break for the Minimax class with drivers from 11 years of age.